everybody. Welcome to Coming Up Roses. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Kelly, and today is Saturday, May 7th, 2022. This is episode 60.
Yeah, we're recording a little late in the day, but that's what we do. So this week is Mother's Day week, and we're going to get into Mother's Day in a little bit. But this week we had not a whole lot of big doings, but you've had some progress.
Yeah, I'm on finishing up week 3 of my Wonder journey. I've lost 13 pounds as of this morning. So that's doing well. Finding that I actually had this week was maybe the not the hardest, but like the least attentive. Like I was the least paid the least amount of attention to what I was doing this week, I think.
Yeah. Well, you had some rough days this week at school, right?
Yeah, I mean, this week's goals were basically just kind of a review of last week, and then taking some movement breaks when you're sitting, and doing the meal timing, which it's hard. When I'm working, it's good. This summer is going to suck, though, is what I'm realizing, because I'm getting into this good routine. And then today, we ate breakfast late. It was almost 9:30, which I'm not eating breakfast anymore during the work week.
Yeah.
And so the goal is just to not eat when you're not really hungry. Like, wait until you're really hungry to eat.
Yeah, until you're at a 3, right?
Yeah, and I was hungry this morning, and that was fine. And then we went for a ride down to Sandbridge, and we were coming back. Everybody's like, you want to stop for lunch? And I was not hungry at all. And we ended up going into a sit-down place.
Gino's, yeah.
And I didn't want to not order anything, but I wasn't really hungry. Family
pressure there, yeah.
So I should not, and I didn't eat a lot.
No.
I didn't even eat half of, I only ordered an appetizer, and I only ate half of that. Not even.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't hungry. So I felt like I really shouldn't even be eating this. And then the other side of it is eat for 10 minutes, then take a break for 5, and then eat for 10 minutes. And that's really hard to do.
Yeah.
At school, I don't even get that long of a time for lunch. And then at home, I'm eating so slow that by the time my 10 minutes is starting, the second 10 minutes, everyone else is pretty well done. So I feel like, or you're going back to work, or, everyone's kind of getting up and...
That's true, too.
So, I don't know. I mean,
this week, my dinner hour was always early. I was getting on my lunch break at 4:30.
Yeah.
My lunch break's generally supposed to be 5:15, but this week, because of meetings and shit, it was all...
and that's just been, I think, for me, the hardest challenge this week.
Yeah.
And then it was Teacher Appreciation Week, so...
Obviously,
Monday, they came in with donuts and hot chocolate, which was fine. I passed on it, and I didn't even really miss it. And then they, provided lunch a couple days, but I'm trying to stay with what I'm eating every day. And, so just little things like that. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, and we're going out for brunch, and it's I need to make sure I just stay away from sugary stuff. So, I mean, it's working, obviously. I've lost 13 pounds in, 20 days? Yeah. It's been since I started, so I'm not complaining, and it hasn't really been hard.
And you've been feeling better as far as, movement.
I do feel a little bit more energy. The arthritis in my knee is kind of coming and going. The back pain, which I've now decided is probably hip.
Yeah.
Has been the biggest challenge. I got on the bike a few times this week, and the last time I got on it, it just kept tweaking that same spot in my lower back / hip, and I just couldn't keep because it just hurt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a process, but...
Well, yeah, there's that, but we've also switched sides of the bed, and that's kind of worked out for you a little bit.
It's been helping me sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the dog isn't under your foot, and she's actually a little pissed at us because of it. Really.
I think she's getting over it because now I think she's liking the actual being in her bed.
Yeah, I think so too.
We bought her another bed so she could have one out here because she likes to sit with Kevin when he's working. And so now she has her little comfy bed to sit in, which I think she really likes.
Mm-hmm. She's in there.
Because even when I'm home, sometimes she'll want to come back in here and lay with Kevin.
Yeah.
Which is, like, her attitude toward me has been different lately.
It's been a couple times when I, get off work and I leave out of here, and then we're like, oh, wait, the dog's still in there.
She's still in there. Although this morning she woke up, you had already gotten up, but she stayed in the room. Mm-hmm. She jumped up on the bed and climbed up on me and was giving me kisses and stuff this morning, so...
She's a good girl.
Yeah, she's a good girl. So, yeah, I mean, that's where we are with that. Really not changing what I eat as much outside of sugar.
See, that's where
I'm eating it. So
I'm trying to cut down the carbs as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm not really considering carbs as much as just added sugars.
Yeah. I'm trying to cut down on the carbs. I've in the morning, I won't do anything with bread in it. I do breakfast bowls and whatnot. Either if I can make them myself or Wawa's got a really good breakfast bowl. And I've been going to the gym, and it hasn't killed me, so that's good news. Wednesday, I went to Dr. Jones, and then back to back, I went to Dr. Bev, who's my endocrinologist. She's technically not a doctor, but I just call her Dr. Bev because it's easier. And for the most part, I was all right. There was my A1C's up because I've been a horrible patient for the last year and a half, almost 2 years, and so they put me on Jardians, which it's actually to help get the blood sugar down, but it's also apparently super good for your heart, protection of the heart. Because they were like, you know what, you're already doing everything to, beat, any type of heart disease or heart attacks or anything like that. With I've already been on medicine, like statins and shit, to prevent that from being a problem. The whole visit to the hospital, and they were all like, yeah, maybe you should go see a cardiologist. Dr. Jones is like, they're not going to tell you to do anything other than what you're already doing. So
and they've already checked your heart and everything was okay.
Yeah, so. He looked at all my results and he's like, yeah, you don't need to do that. Just, talk to Dr. Bev about getting on what he said was Farxiga. She's like, Farxiga's all right, but I'd rather put you on this. And she put me on Jardians, which is supposed to, it makes you pee out sugar. So, my piss is real sweet. So I was like, I even looked at her, I was like, that's had to have been the suckiest job of all time, figuring that shit out.
You're not actually peeing sugar.
Well,
it's not like a soda fountain. It's just flushing sugar out of your system faster.
Man, it's like a Mountain Dew bottle.
Oh, you're crazy. The way you understand things sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've started that, and I've got on the scale, and I found out that my clothes weigh 4 pounds. That was fun to find out.
Well, he texted me from the doctor's office, and his weight was 4.5 pounds higher than it was when he weighed at home. And I'm like, were you dressed when you weighed yourself at home? And he's like, no. I'm like, Kevin, you're fully dressed with your shoes, and your shoes themselves probably
Well,
weigh.
I throw all my stuff out of my pocket. I just dump my stuff right on the table. Yeah, that doesn't,
I mean, your jeans.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I'm not looking forward to that because I'm going to step on the scale at the doctor's office, and it's going to be, I'm just already bracing myself. It's going to be higher because I'll be dressed.
Well, you got until July to work that out.
Yeah, well, I'm already down
13, so by
then. Last time I went to see him, I'm down about 27 from the last time I went to see him.
There you go.
So, yeah, I mean, that'll be good.
Yeah. And it was the first time that I've been in that office and since we started going there that I felt like the front office had their shit together.
And they actually even called me to double check on what meds I needed refilled, which...
Yeah, that was funny.
That's a good step.
Doc Jones, I was telling him that she was going to need refills because she couldn't get an appointment before July. He says, well, you got to tell the folks up front so they can send me a message, and then I'll get
But you're like, I'm right here. Can I just give you the message?
Yeah. But apparently they have that's
system.
in their system. So I go up front, and I'm like, my wife's coming in July, but she's going to need refills before then. And the lady's like, okay, do you know what her medications are? And I'm like,
he doesn't know shit.
And then she's like, well, if I showed you a list of the medications, could you confirm what the medications are? I said, if you show me a list, I'm going to say, yeah, that looks right.
I should have just written it down for you because all I really needed was lisinopril.
Yeah.
But I ended up getting
the whole smash.
A lot. So now I'm like probably good for
everything, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were no refills on the ones he gave me, so. Yeah. But they were 3 months.
Yeah. So that's was going down with the doctor's offices and whatnot.
Woohoo!
Yeah, woo!
Big time in the Logan house.
The other funny thing, I took your mom to the doctor. This is funny. She might kick my ass for this later on, but so she was supposed to go to the eye doctor, but apparently there was some goof up in the appointment. She was supposed to go apparently on Thursday. We went on Friday, so I drove her up there because she thought they were going to dilate her eyes or whatever. So I drove her up, dropped her off in front of the thing, and I parked the car. And then about 20 minutes later, she comes out, and I see her, so I start driving up to go pick her up. She's calling my phone. She calls my phone up, answer it in the car, on speaker. And then I park in front of her, and she starts telling me about what happened where they goofed up the appointment or whatever. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. Why don't you come on, get in the car, we'll head on home. She says, where are you at? And I'm like, I'm right in front of you. She's like, no, you're not. I said, I'm dead right in front of you. I'm looking you dead in the face right now. And she's like, you're not, where are you at? I was like, I am in front of you right now. I'm literally looking at you through the window. Finally, she believed me and got in the car. She's like, I didn't know you guys had a roof rack. Like, you parked next to my car.
Oh, we were in our car?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
I thought you were in the van.
Oh, you were way worried then, weren't you?
Yeah, I was like, she didn't realize her own car was right there in front of her.
No, I was in our car.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense. Not quite as worried.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Though I was like, I'm right in front of you. I had to convince her I was in front of her.
So yeah, that's our personal fun for the week.
Mm-hmm.
World news. World went a little crazy this week.
World went apeshit crazy this week.
Yeah.
But there's some crazy shit happening. First of all, this whole Supreme Court leak. And I'm sorry, I don't care where you are on the issue with the abortion issue. The Supreme Court leak should not happen. It's just wrong on so many levels. I'm sorry, but it doesn't matter if you're for it, against it, or whatever, if you hate the decision or what. Those people's lives are already in danger on a regular anyway. Mm-hmm. And you do something like this, you're basically begging people to shoot these people. So this is not something that should be done.
Yeah. And don't the people who work, like the clerks and stuff, don't they have confidentiality clauses?
Whoever did this, and it probably is a clerk because they would be the few people that have access.
I mean, I don't imagine a justice would have done it.
I can't imagine either. Either way, if it's a justice or a clerk, and it's very likely a clerk, they should get disbarred.
I hope it's a clerk.
Oh, yeah.
I hope it's not a justice.
But they should absolutely get disbarred. They should never work in law again. And they should probably, I mean, there's people talking about they should do time and do like 20 some odd years. The likelihood is that whoever's going to do this is not going to face any time.
20 years, that's a little crazy.
Well, yeah. But they're probably going to they're going to get disbarred for sure. There's no way around that. But they will probably get book deals, and they'll probably work for MSNBC as a contributor, and they'll be hailed a hero and blah, 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 and whatever. But, at the very least, they should never practice law again. It's just that wrong. They should never, ever practice law.
I mean, there has to be... The Supreme Court is supposed to be, and always has been, not politically motivated. You have to put your faith in the fact that the people who are on the court are able to strictly go by the rule of law.
Right.
And the Constitution.
Correct.
And I get that you're going to have, your conservative judges that are put there by conservative presidents and your liberal judges who are there by more liberal. I mean, I get that obviously a president's going to nominate somebody whose beliefs are in line with theirs. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I understand. But the justices themselves have the ability to, like, on a human level, discuss the issues without all the political chaos that goes on around them.
Right.
And that has to be protected, because if it isn't, if they become a shill for the political machine, we're in a lot of trouble.
Well, I think we already are.
We're in a lot of trouble.
And then everybody lost their shit. Now they're
and that, I mean, it can just as easily swing the other way. Mm-hmm. So that's what I heard back before about, more justices on the court or term limits for court justices, whatever. And if you aren't happy with who's on there right now, someday you will be happy with who's on there. Mm-hmm. And you have to consider what you're putting in place now and how that can affect the future of... Mm-hmm. You can't just bend the rules toward what's most favorable for you at the time. Something has to be above the fray.
That's what politics is.
The Supreme Court should be above all of
that.
The
Supreme Court should be above that. And that's why they should leave it alone.
And the other thing is, the decision's not even a final decision.
No.
And so they're not done debating it and arguing it and writing the final opinion. And, like, they haven't officially made any judgment one way or the other.
It could technically change up to the moment it's released, which would have been in early June. Like June, like
so
5th
I think if we want to lose our shit, let's just cool our heels a little bit, because nothing that anybody does between then and now is going to really affect what the court decides.
No.
I really don't believe that the Supreme Court is swayed by the protesting and the all of that kind of stuff. I don't think they are.
I hope not.
I don't think they are.
But you got some people out there who's like pointing out where these people live. So
really?
Oh yeah. They were publishing maps to their houses and shit. Now these people have small kids. They're whatever you fall on a debate, in however angle you are, you don't go after these people's houses and their personal lives, especially when they got kids.
No, because sooner or later they're gonna make a decision you don't agree with.
Yeah.
No matter what. I know that Roe v. Wade is a huge decision, and I am grateful that I'm not a Supreme Court justice, because I would not want to have to weigh in on that. But yeah, oh my gosh, that's really scary.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But what are you gonna do? So, regardless of how you feel about the issue, the fact that it was released like that, and the press seems to be going pretty good with them, and half the country is like, this person should be disbarred and found out. We need to make sure this never happens again. The other half is like, blah 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 blah. We don't care about that. We want to make sure this doesn't go through. So. And I'll be honest with you, as a libertarian, this is one issue I kind of struggle with greatly. Because on one hand, I do believe that you are the owner of your body. You are the individual owner of your body. This is the whole reason why I don't believe that they should be forced vaccinations and everything else. But at the same time, there is a life inside that person's body. And that you have to figure out, there's a point where that is a person who needs to be protected. Now, whether or not you think it's a conception, it damn sure isn't where some people are at, where it's in the birth canal. You've made this decision, stab it with a knife.
I have to really believe that is a very
I hope that is
small number.
Yeah. I would think so too. I think people largely are
in my heart. I have to think there are not women out there doing that, because
I think people are okay with carve-outs for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. Why
don't we just put it on a ballot and let people vote on it?
That's what the Supreme Court's doing. They are basically saying this is going to your state legislature. Now, maybe people will pay more attention to state legislature.
No, but I mean your state legislature. But I mean, put it on the ballot.
Oh, I'm sure some states might. That's been on ballots before.
Let the Reds of the people decide.
Yeah. It very well may end up on ballots in some states.
Yeah.
But, you never know what's going to happen with that. Because California, before the gay marriage was legalized, they put Prop 8 out. And they thought for sure that it was going to pass, that, it would be in state law that gay people could legally marry in the state of California. They were wrong. That failed miserably.
But did it fail because people didn't understand it?
I don't know.
Because, sometimes you go to vote for things and you're like, am I voting yes or no on this? Because of the way they word it. And it makes it...
Well, it was the same time. It was 2008, so it was when Barack Obama was running for president the first time. So there was a huge turnout in California. And those people know that I'm here to vote for Barack Obama. I would have hoped that they would know.
What I'm saying is, do you know how... Some of those things, like we vote for them, you don't know what a yes vote means. Like if I vote yes on this.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean? You have to be really careful because they word it in really confusing ways.
I remember there was something on the ballot in 2016. We and you both looking at the sample ballot and we're like, what the fuck does this mean?
Yeah, I mean, you have to do your research and read up on it. Yeah. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't do that.
Yeah.
They're handed the list of who to vote for as they're walking in, or I'm going to vote for so-and-so, and it says vote no on this, so I'll vote no, and not even really understand
This is why I tell people don't vote for party, because the parties are going to change their thing anyway. You vote on principle. You vote. This is so important that people realize they have to figure out what their principles are and vote accordingly. If you believe in the free market or if you believe in socialism, vote accordingly. A lot, some people assume that I'm a Republican because I'm a free market guy. That is not the case.
They're wrong. I can tell you that right now.
Wrong. First of all, the problem with the Republican Party is that they spend slightly less than Democrats, and they don't reduce the size of government at all. When they say let's cut spending, here's the trick with government. When they say they cut spending, they didn't cut spending. The amount of spending continues to grow. It's just the rate that it grows at. So if the Department of blah, blah, blah says we need a 10% increase in budget to operate next year, and they say, well, we're going to cut it to a 6% increase. It's still increasing, but it's only increased by 6%. Well, now we've cut it 4%. We've done a 4% cut in reduction. No, you haven't. You've done a 6% increase. You're saying it's a reduction, and it's not. It's bullshit. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. I'm not nearly smart enough to comment on any of that. So, I've said this. So many times. I'm sure people are tired of hearing how middle of the road I am, and I'm in both camps all the time.
Yeah.
So I find myself in that pro-choice, anti-abortion place where
I think most people
don't really.
I actually think
like
that's where
the
most
idea
people
of abortion, but I don't believe that I have the right to tell anybody else what they can or can't do with their body.
Right.
And they make that decision, and they live with the consequences of that decision.
Right.
Now, I certainly don't want a 13-year-old child who's been raped by a family member and gets pregnant to have to carry that child to term.
Right.
In no way.
And I think most people would agree, and that there'd be a carve-out for that.
Yes. So, I mean, that's the thing. There has to be common sense. There has to be... But then, when push comes to shove, I fall on the side of, I don't have the right to make that decision for anybody else.
That's right.
Just like I don't feel like anyone has the right to make those decisions for me. And that includes, and that's where I struggled with the vaccine, too. Being a responsible person, I wanted the vaccine. I believe in getting a vaccine. Mm-hmm. But I struggled with a mandate on the vaccine. Because who am I to say, if you don't get vaccinated, you're going to lose your job and your livelihood? And
that was wrong. Never should have been. That never should have been a thing.
I have that right to make that decision for myself, what I want to do with my body. So, I mean...
And the logic I heard from some people is that, well, because it affects other people around you. And as it turns out, no, it doesn't. Because the vaccine didn't prevent spread. It prevented you as an individual from becoming as sick or dying.
Right.
It was very good at that. But as far as preventing spread, there really wasn't a whole lot of evidence that said it prevented spread. It really wasn't. Maybe at the first variant, but the second variant, Delta, and certainly not Omicron. Everybody that had triple vax was still getting Omicron. The people at the White House, Jen Psaki got Omicron. She was triple vaxxed. So, but she didn't die because she was triple vaxxed.
So what I believe we should do then is, like, you're taking out victims of rape and incest and... it's dangerous to the life of the mother, right. Or the child has no viable chance,
right?
Because of birth defects. You take all of those things off because
the kid's gonna be born without lungs. Why let it suffer?
I mean, I don't think your kid has Down syndrome. To me, that wouldn't be a reason.
No, of course.
But not. I again can't make that for someone else. But what we can do is make contraception easier to get.
I don't know how much easier it can be to get. I can go into any store.
You don't live in... Your world is very different from pretty much everyone has their own reality of what their life is like. There are people who don't have the access. They just don't. They don't have the money. They don't have the healthcare option. They don't have insurance. And they're living, like, we think we don't have money, but we are well off in comparison.
I grew up in that. You know what there was out there? The health department in Suffolk was handing out condoms free. You could go in there at any time. Yes. They'd give you a whole big old box of condoms.
I hate to say this, and I probably shouldn't say this. Yeah, I'm not going to say it. I'm just not going to say it.
If you have to think about it that hard.
Yeah, it's not a door I want to open and go down. But it's a women's health issue.
Yeah, I get it.
And I don't think taking access away to women's health is a good thing. That's just where it's between a woman and her doctor. I mean, it's a personal decision.
Yeah.
That's how I believe. I don't, are diametrically opposed with family members on that. But you just have to.
Yeah, and the ruling doesn't end abortion by far. I mean, in California, not only are they saying you could have an abortion up to and then possibly even after the child is born. They're talking about viability even outside of the womb, which is kind of crazy. The language there was kind of crazy.
If you're going to go that far in your pregnancy, just continue to give birth to your child and put it up for adoption.
Yeah.
Like that is what I don't understand. Like, again, I have to think those decisions are because of something with the child.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine that a healthy pregnancy, a healthy child.
I'm sure it's extremely rare for that late term stuff. I think really the largest number of abortions are people that are like, oh man, I fucked up and I don't want to have a kid now. Well, depending on the development stage, I'm sorry you have to live with that consequence because it's a human now. It's a person.
There's also women who can't financially afford to have a child.
Then we can work on helping that. Well,
even we can work on that,
but that's something that can be worked out on a state basis. But even California is like, if you want to have an abortion and you live in a state where it's banned, we'll fly you, we'll pay your air freight and your stay.
Yeah, if you live in California and you're okay with that, what's the problem?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what the ruling does. The ruling doesn't ban abortion. It just makes it so that the states come up with their own laws. So there'll be some states where it's banned, and there'll be California that says, okay, well, if you're in, Texas, and you want an abortion, just get on a plane. We'll fly you here. We'll pay your ticket. We'll give you a place to stay.
I can't imagine that happens often either, though. I really can't.
Well, it's just got signed, so.
What I think a lot of people are worried about are these young women or, women that don't have the access to just hop on a plane, even if it's free, that will take steps to abort their child on their own. And
well, it's the same argument that's made for drugs and guns. People say, well, we'll ban drugs. Well, people easily get drugs in prison. If you can't keep drugs out of fucking
ban
prison,
guns, and there's more criminals with guns than ever right now.
So it's stupid when this is one of the reasons why I say bans are stupid, because bans are just for the honest people. They're not for, if somebody really wanted drugs, they're going to get drugs. If somebody really wants a gun, they're going to get a gun. If somebody really wants an abortion, they'll get an abortion. But it's just a matter of what's in the law. So I don't know. But I think the
hard decisions.
I think most people are in the same spot that we are. We don't want it completely banned, but we don't want people carrying a baby to, where it's like term, and then the late term stuff has got to be off the books.
I know our governor made a comment that was taken like, oh, the woman could have the child and then decide. And I don't think he was speaking of a healthy child. I think he was speaking of a child who's probably not going to have a quality of life. And then, is it more humane or not humane? That makes it sound like you're putting a dog down, but like,
I get that. I
think people took it out of context and then blew it up, because that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They take a little thing out of context and blow it up to scare the people and get them to think a certain way.
Absolutely.
We talked about that before.
Absolutely. On
media
both sides.
Yes, they're masters at that.
Yes.
And so, you just have to, do what's right for you. That's all I can say. I found some weird stories. Let's get off that topic, because
let's stay away from it.
I think it's too personal.
That might get edited out.
It's too personal of a topic. Here's a story I came across that says creepy.
I've not heard any of this. So.
Creepy dolls are washing ashore on Texas coast.
Oh, fuck, man.
There's a lot of nightmares out there. Texas researchers have already collected 30 dolls.
Oh, my God.
And it says that sometimes they're covered in barnacles. They grow out of the eyes. They're washing up on the Texas shores.
I'm creeped out by that right now.
I guess there's a group that they clean like a 40-mile stretch of coastline. And I guess, they're surveying for sea turtles and other things like that, And these dolls are just washing ashore. And they don't know where they're coming from.
If I had to guess, because I've got friends that are in the shipping industry. Shout out Kate, Richard, Shantae.
Oh, a shipping cargo ship lost something?
A container fell off a boat that was full of toys, and then they wash up the shore. But still, it's got to be creepy as hell. Because I'm into the Halloween stuff a little bit, and there's people that are obviously way more into it than I am. But I'm pretty cool with seeing some crazy statics and whatnot. Anytime we involve creepy ass dolls, that shit always creeps me out. They're just, oh my God. I've never watched Annabelle because, you know what? Fuck all that. I ain't watched a doll killing folks. It's not happening.
So they say that about twice a month they find these crazy looking dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Some are missing arms or legs, and others have algae growing inside the eyes and mouth, as well as barnacles, and some have clearly been chewed on, which I would imagine the first one discovered by researchers was a sex doll.
Oh my God.
Yep. This guy posted the picture online. Someone bought the head of it for $35.
Oh my God.
And the funds were donated to the Sea Turtle program.
Oh, all right. Well, Jesus Christ.
So, yeah.
I'm thinking, though, that's got to be like Christy Watkins, or like the first victim from Jaws. That'd be a creepy ass doll.
It's a weird story. Where are these dolls coming from? My first thought was like all these people who are trying to get into the United States with their kids.
Oh God!
And like,
oh my God! In the Rio Grande and all those.
Yeah,
dolls
they're just losing their dolls and stuff as they're coming over.
Oh my God! Man, your thought was way worse than mine.
The shipping container that fell overboard is a lot.
But that's a weird container if there's sex dolls mixed in with like Cupid dolls and shit. That's so bizarre.
Very. Here's a Joe Gatto story for you. It's not Joe Gatto, but it's going to remind you of Joe Gatto.
Oh, snap.
Drunken man arrested in Maine after trying to hide from the police under a blanket.
All right, well, Joe Gatto is not, he's never drank or used any drugs or smoked or anything like that. He's complete straight edge. But there's an episode of Jokers, and it was one of my favorite bits. Murr and Joe were, come up with this thing where they were going to play hide and seek. They didn't tell Sal or Q. They're in a prop house, and they're like, in 60 seconds, a woman's going to come into this room. We're going to play hide and seek up in this bitch. Go hide. So the four of them go hide. Sal's bitching about it because he didn't know anything about it. He's like dressed to go out to dinner, and he's all in this dusty ass thing. Joe Gatto just throws a blanket over himself.
He said, I'm straight up standing under a blanket.
I'm like Casper. And he literally just was standing up, and it was clearly
it's not
a
much
person.
different from this guy.
Yeah, it was clearly somebody under a blanket. I don't know if you'll be able to
see this, but this guy's just sitting on his porch under a blanket, trying to hide from the police. The police said, "Is this Scooby-Doo or what?"
That's the best shit ever.
He was hiding in a chair with a blanket draped over him. That is just too funny.
That's like your dad.
If you're a cop, you have to be just, let's just sneak up on it. You're like sneaking up on it.
Taser ready.
It's really not a smart idea there, buddy.
That's hilarious.
Oh, funny. That was in Maine. Here's another one from Maine.
That's where all the Stephen King movies happen.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
A Maine driver blames his GPS for drunken wreck into a police station. The dude crashed into a police station and then blamed his GPS.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, I've had an adventure with it. We both were on a little adventure. We were coming back from Baltimore. We spent a nice weekend in Baltimore, like the year after we got married, 2 years after we got married. Either way. On the way back, it was when we had a Garmin, and we needed gas. So I was going to pull off the first exit. But the first exit I saw at the top of the exit, there was like a bunch of pawn shops and strip joints. And I'm like, nope, not going off there, not in D.C., because Fat Boy will get shot. So finally we put it in the GPS to find us a gas station. Apparently, when they built the Nationals stadium, they put a thing in there to move the gas stations a mile away from the stadium. Why they did that, I don't know. That just seems stupid to me. But either way, the Garmin hadn't updated with that information, so it's sending us to gas stations that don't exist anymore. So we're thinking, what's going on with this thing? Plus, in D.C., you're rolling up on a thing and it says, basically, it was like, turn right now, and we're like, fuck, it passed us, So it was crazy.
But this woman, this is in Portland, Maine. 26-year-old woman drove through the Portland Police Department garage, across its pedestrian plaza, and then tried to drive down the stairs to Middle Street. And said she was just following her GPS instructions.
That's bullshit.
The cop said it was her excessive blood alcohol.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. That's crazy.
I mean, come on. Even if that's what your GPS is telling you to do, you make a decision. This isn't right.
Yeah, I shouldn't drive down the stairs.
I'm not going to drive down the stairs and across this parking garage. Sometimes people are really funny. Okay, here's one. This one's straight from our nation's capital.
Oh, D.C.
Wild, aggressive turkey terrorizes nation's capital. Slips across state lines into Maryland.
We saw that.
Remember the guy on the bike? Was that a turkey that was after him? Okay. Yes, that's it.
That's it right there.
Okay, so we saw this video, and I don't know why the guy just didn't get on his bike and pedal away, but he was warding the turkey off with the bike, but they just kept going in circles.
Yeah, he kept the bike between him and the turkey. And
I think probably
they thought that it would, while they were getting on the bike, the turkey would attack. So,
I mean, just start running with your... Is a turkey going to hurt you if it attacks you?
Oh, yeah.
What can it do to you?
What can a goose do to you?
I don't know. What can a goose do to you?
Do you ever get pecked by a goose or
do they have teeth?
They got a beak.
They have a round beak.
A turkey doesn't.
Not a turkey, that's true.
And a round beak from a duck or a goose, that shit's going to hurt.
But can't you grab its neck?
Well, not this guy, apparently. This guy's a puss. He'd probably rather get pecked to death than fight the turkey.
He was 70 years old.
I mean, I would punt the turkey myself.
Not the turkey, but the guy on the bike was 70.
I mean, all right, put that in the comments. The turkey's attacking you.
The turkey
do you
said,
grab it by the throat? Do you punt it, or do you act like a puss and put a bike or something in between you and the turkey? What's your plan?
The guy said, I was trying to get away from him, and he came after me. He wouldn't let me pass. Like in
You shall not pass.
When it was a few feet away, suddenly it jumped at me. Like some cartoon, I had to use my purse to beat it back. I wonder if it has rabies.
Nah. I don't think birds get rabies. I don't think so, though. I had an incident one time.
Could you come and help me instead of just videotaping this, please?
Get a gun and shoot it.
No. Yeah, well. I'm sorry, I follow the law. I don't have a gun. That's funny.
Yeah, the guy recording's like, I'm going to get so many views on this. Thank you.
I heard that there's like all kinds of wild turkeys on Staten Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Q was talking about that.
Roam all around Staten Island too. That's weird.
Yeah, because they were talking about it on Tell 'em Steve Dave.
Yeah. All right, here's one from Alabama.
Alabama
police seeking a masked woman caught on camera stealing a lawnmower with Crimson Tide yard sign.
What?
They've issued an arrest warrant for a woman caught on camera riding a stolen lawnmower and pulling a trailer with other stolen items, including a University of Alabama yard sign.
Oh my God, there's the picture.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She's
just like, yeah, I'm just going to take this stuff.
Oh, she's got a mask on, like a COVID mask.
Yeah, when they said
she put it over her eye.
I thought it was like she was wearing a ski mask.
Well, she's got them over her eyes.
No, she doesn't. She's driving. She can't. She's driving the lawnmower. She has to be able to see.
It's a famous story about George Jones, the singer. When he was married to Tammy Wynette, she took the keys away to all the cars and hid them, and so he wouldn't be able to go anywhere and get booze because he really wanted to get some booze. Motherfucker got on his riding lawnmower and went to the liquor store in the riding lawnmower with the blade down, driving along gravel on the side, kicking rocks out into this road and hitting cars and shit. He didn't care.
All right, this one's out of Florida. This is going to be our last crazy story.
Florida man. You got to have a Florida man.
If I could get this to open up, I could. Florida bride allegedly laces wedding food with pot.
Oh, my God.
Grins as deputies arrive, body cam shows.
Oh, my God.
For some reason, it won't open this story, but...
She wanted a real chill wedding. That's stupid, though, because, then you got people just passing out and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, some people have
bad reactions.
Especially depending on how much they're edibles, ingesting. Yeah, I mean, mass marijuana. The video shows a grinning bride as law enforcement responded to reports of a mass marijuana overdose at her wedding after she and the caterer allegedly engaged in lacing their guest food with pot and causing multiple bad trips. Well, she was probably high as shit, too.
Yeah.
If you have to be high as shit and get all your guests high as shit at your wedding, you probably shouldn't be getting married. That might be sign number one that this marriage might not work.
Just spring for the open bar. We did. It was great.
Yeah, the cops are like, don't put anything away. We need to taste test all this stuff. Are those brownies instead of a wedding cake? Well, yes, they are.
Cheech and Chong were the topper of the cake.
The best man.
No, it was Willie and Snoop. That was the topper, Willie and Snoop. Oh, thank you for nice kisses. Thank you.
That's funny. All right, so that's our weird stories of the week. I like weird stories better than real stories because they're at least great. Entertaining. The real stuff is just too. It's just
I mean, the hard stuff was hard. I'd rather hear about Florida Man. I always thought somebody should write a comic book about Florida Man. Like the guy's got the powers of anybody that does stupid shit in Florida. That'd be great.
We were leaving for work the other day, and there was a collection of Muscovy ducks. We've got Muscovies in our neighborhood. And they were coming to the corner from like 3 or 4 different directions. And I was like, what are they having, a Civic League meeting? Like, can't go over to those people's house anymore. They stopped putting the bird seed out. And
yeah.
Remember that one that was booking across the street? And we were like, it must be some kind of induction.
He's late. He's late for the meeting.
They're like, if you can make it across the street, you're in the club.
That's hilarious.
Kevin's like, he's taking lessons from those damn Canadian geese.
I hate the geese. Goddamn geese.
All right, so I think we've decided. What do you think about we're at 45 minutes instead of stopping and...
Yeah, well, we were stopping before because it was difficult
we had to do
upload,
shorter
but
videos.
Now we've got that square, so
yeah,
we're gonna drop the theme
break
song
in the middle. We're just gonna go straight into our second segment. So
there we go, folks. Trying to change it up. Now, if you want us to keep that in, comment in there, and then Cash App K Rose 7 VA, K Rose VA.
As Tell Him Steve Dave from the past would say, drop in that theme song here, Declan. All right, ready?
Yep.
Where's the worst place you've had to relieve yourself?
Oh my God, that's such a messed up thing for me. I mean, all right. So I've not made it in several places. Like when I say I've not made it, because of the issues I have with diabetes and the stomach surgery I have. And Al Roker's talked about this on today's show.
So it's not just me.
So it's not just me. I want to make sure that you understand that this is not a Kevin Rose thing. This is a, between the surgeries that I had for my stomach and whatever. Because Al Roker said that he shat himself in the White House at an event. So it's not just me.
That's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
That's worse than,
yeah.
like, maybe at a Dunkin' Donuts or something.
Yeah, the Dunkin' Donuts was... But probably the worst was we decided we were going to take a little day trip to the Eastern Shore, which, if you're not familiar, that's going across the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
Yeah, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge is like a 26
miles, yeah. It's the same
bridge with
Manhattan
2 tunnels in it, yeah.
So we get on, and it's a beautiful bridge. If you ever get a chance to drive on, it's great.
That bridge will lull you to sleep because it goes
But we're going across, and we just passed the last little restaurant stop, and I'm like, I'm going to need to hit the bathroom when we get on the other side. No sooner as I'm thinking that, this guy in front of us, like it was a church bus, hits the curb and cuts a tire right in front of us, and he has to stop. And you're not supposed to go around him; you're supposed to wait. But I'm like, nah, I can't wait. And I whip around him, and we keep going, and finally made it to the rest stop area. And I'm running in, and I just didn't quite make it. So, shotgun blast all over the walls and whatnot.
What?
Yeah.
See, that's what you need to talk to Dr. Jones about. Most people don't go like that.
Yeah, it was bad. Then I pulled the old Dr. Rose trick where I take my underwear off and clean up with that. You sacrifice the underwear, but, that, but, it happens, that's so that was probably the worst. The Dunkin' Donuts thing I've already told about. Yeah. That was worse. The Dunkin' Donuts thing was worse, but I wanted to give another example.
Yeah, you have more than one of those up your sleeve.
I have more than one of those up my sleeve, yeah.
I don't know, for me, I'm sure it's been a gas station bathroom on a road trip, or I don't think I've ever gone into a porta potty.
Really?
No.
That's not possible.
What? I mean, what do you mean that's not possible?
Really?
Yeah, no. So it must have been some, gas station bathroom in a moment of desperation. I don't have the same kind of memory as Kevin does.
Oh. What's your sexiest outfit?
Oh my God. I don't even have a sexiest outfit.
Oh, yes, you do.
I do not. An outfit like that I would wear out somewhere?
Oh, I don't know about out. I know one that...
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about those. We're not going to talk about that. I mean, I don't wear sexy clothes.
Yeah, I think you do. Well, I guess...
I had that one dress when I had lost a little bit of weight before my gallbladder surgery.
That's true, yeah.
There were a couple of dresses that I wore that were way out of my comfort zone, but
they were nice.
I did wear them in public, and you liked them.
I did. There was one that you put on Facebook with that had the nice cleavage. It was,
I think I wore it to Tina's wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back when I was feeling semi-good about myself.
Well, you should feel good about yourself because you're beautiful. For me, I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever been.
Do men have sexy outfits?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's guys out there like the winning fawn all over, but I've never had to worry about that. So I guess this, the defenders. I guess I don't know. Hopefully, somebody out there is like, man, that's hot.
Hopefully.
No.
What is that supposed to be? Would you accept a 15% pay cut to have a regular 3-day weekend?
No.
No?
15%'s a lot.
That's a lot.
We get by and, we're not, I wouldn't say hurting like some people are.
Yeah.
That would make us hurt.
Yeah, 15% is a lot.
Yeah. So it would be irresponsible of me.
Irresponsible?
Whatever.
Wow, you are channeling Walt Flanagan right now.
I know.
Irresponsible.
Irresponsible.
Fuck
it. It would be wrong of me to make that decision. It would just be, selfish. So.
Yeah, and you've had 3-day weekends before. I mean, you had, not really 3-day weekends, but you did 4-10s for a while.
Yeah, for a long while.
Which just means you'd be doing 4-10s.
Yeah.
No thanks. Please, don't leave me in that classroom longer than I'm in there already.
Yeah, 10 hours on a call center, taking a beating for a cable company. That's a lot to ask anybody.
I will have to admit, though, during the pandemic, we only taught 4 days a week, and the 5th day was a planning day. And that was a dream. Mm-hmm. That I could get behind. Mm-hmm. Not for 15% pay reduction, but like Monday planning and then you teach Tuesday through Friday. That was so nice. Because I got everything done on that one day. It wasn't working late at, bringing work home and working on the weekends. And the team had time to get together. And I mean, it was just, now we don't even have time to there are days I don't even see my whole team.
Yeah.
I don't leave my room very often, though.
So. What was it you were saying that you saw a picture of people at
Yeah, I was on Twitter this morning, and they had posted a picture of an event we had for Teacher Appreciation Week, and there was 3 teachers standing outside with this thing, and 2 of the 3 teachers I didn't even recognize.
Yeah.
Like I said, COVID really allowed me to just hide inside my little own world, and that's pretty much what I do.
What is the wildest party you've been to?
The wildest party I've been to? I'm not a partier. Never was a partier. But we had a New Year's Eve party year 2000. New Year's Eve 2000. And it got a little out of control. And it was fun. But we were all 3 sheets. Someone's hair caught on fire. Someone passed out drunk in the bathroom. We had a war of fireworks with the neighbors. Yeah, that's probably the wildest party I've ever been to.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been to anything that wild. I can't think of anything offhand. I mean, I used to go out with Billy and Rick to various bars, and that sometimes would get a little crazy because, but you're at the bar. It's not really a party.
You're supposed to be making Billy not look like an asshole.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. My brother, who came up with the idea of looking at decreds he wanted me to make sure you all understand. He's not an asshole, but he does make fun of everybody. He doesn't discriminate against. He'll talk shit about everybody. So
even the people in front of Macy's and Target.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you're at. If you're in front of Macy's or Target, or if you're in front of a church or whatever, he's
equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But, I don't know. I guess that one night that we were playing the drawing game here.
Oh, and we were all plastic. That was so fun. We have that on video.
Yeah.
That was probably the hardest I've laughed
in a long
playing
time.
A game.
Yeah.
Probably ever.
Yeah.
Because it was just so perfectly done. The way that one round. One person got something and they drew it, and then it went to the next person and they had to guess what it was, and then they would write down what they think it was and hand it to the next person, and they would draw a picture of that, and then the next person would have to guess what that was, and it went like that. Oh my God. That was funny. All right. Which activists are the most annoying?
Oh my God. Pick a side. You see, this is where you you want to be like, oh, I don't want to piss anybody off, but I mean, goddamn, you look at the folks from what was it? The ones that drive me the craziest the most are the people that are like, we want socialism, we want it now. It's like you don't understand history or economics at all. You just don't. You don't understand the hundreds of thousands of hundreds of millions of people murdered by their own country in the name of socialism. You really don't. That is so annoying to me. I can't even believe it.
Yeah, I don't know which ones I find the most annoying. Any of them that aren't rational are annoying to me. But
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
All right. What's under your bed? Trash.
Tilly, whatever Tilly drags under there.
It used to be she wouldn't go under there, but now she'll crawl under there just a little bit.
She gets like a piece of paper or a package of something or a wrapper of some sort.
The bed's not high up, but it's not low enough to where...
She's little.
Yeah, she's little. She doesn't go under there very often, but she's got a little stash under there. Probably socks. Probably some socks under there. So.
I know she's torn things up and brought the little scraps of things under there.
Yeah.
I know for a fact. Was there a lot of stuff when you switched the beds around?
I didn't look under it because it was the bed.
Oh, you can't see through our... That's right. We've got the platform.
Yeah. The platform was still there. And I don't want to get on the ground and look under there with the flashlight and all that.
That's too scary.
No, it's just too fucked up for me to try to
We
get
can't
up.
store... We have adjustable beds, so we can't really store anything under the bed.
Yeah.
So, oh my God.
What?
This legit question came up for you.
All right.
In a war between superheroes, who would win?
Like between DC and Marvel?
I mean, come on. Between superheroes.
It depends on which heroes you're talking about.
Could you put them all in the same universe for once?
All right. But
just throw them all into the big pot.
All right. If you throw them all in the big pot.
All right, because then who's the war against? You have to have sides, right?
Right.
So DC versus Marvel, who wins?
DC versus Marvel. I mean, the problem with DC is that they have a lot of very overpowered characters. I mean, Superman is way overpowered. He'd be a tough one to beat. Now, Marvel's got some very powerful characters, but DC's got some. They have a ton of like way overly powered people. Having said that, I prefer Marvel just because I like their stories better. But in an all-out war like that, Dr. Doom, he's got it all. He's got tech. He's got genius mentality. He's a sorcerer supreme level magician. No, I can't. There's not very many people that are going to beat Doom. There's just not.
Okay, hold on.
What are you looking at?
I'm just going to try and pull two random superheroes. And I don't know enough about superheroes. I am not getting a good connection. I'm coming off Wi-Fi.
All right.
And there it goes. All right, let's see. Tucker Carlson's picture came up first. All right, random superhero characters generator. Ready?
Yep.
All right, let's see. Generate. We want to generate 2, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to put in a 2. Come on. There we go. Put in a 2. This is fascinating for all you people watching from home. I'm getting the slowest reaction on my iPad right now.
What the fuck?
I don't know. It's just... It keeps putting a W in there when I want a 2. And then I wait 10 minutes. There we go. Generate. Okay. All right, here we go. Harley Quinn versus Wolverine.
I I mean, she's peak human. He's superpowered mutant that basically can't die. So Wolverine wins that one.
Dr. Doom versus Mr. Fantastic.
Doom.
Well, you just said Doom beats everybody.
Yeah.
Next, Captain America versus Hulk.
Hulk. I love Cap to death. He's my favorite, but I mean, goddamn, it's the Hulk.
How about Silver Surfer versus Thing?
Silver Surfer.
Why?
Silver Surfer is one of the most powerful comic book characters altogether.
I love the little joy. You have got this look of complete, like, your eyebrows are relaxed. Your face is happy when you're talking about this stuff. All right, Silver Surfer, why?
Silver Surfer, he's got the power cosmic is like he can bend reality. He can restructure physical structure. He's strong as all hell. He's incredibly fast. He is probably one of the most powerful characters of all of Marvel.
Okay. How about Cyclops versus Hawk Girl?
Ooh. Range, you got to give it to Cyclops.
Okay. Sam Wilson versus Wolverine?
Wolverine.
Yeah, because Wolverine can't die.
Yeah. I mean, he's 5'4". He's 300 some odd pounds because his skeleton is made of metal.
Here's something I've never heard of before.
Who's that?
Wanda Maximoff?
That's Scarlet Witch.
Oh, well, and why didn't it just say Scarlet Witch?
Because,
Jean Grey.
Ooh, now that's tough. That's tough. She, depending on if she's got the Phoenix Force or not, but even with the Phoenix Force, I'd have to give it to Wanda because she, again, can alter reality to her will.
That's not Wanda from WandaVision, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Deadpool versus Quicksilver.
Ooh. Speedsters are tough because if a speedster were to go into a killing spree, there's not really anything you're going to do about it. Quicksilver could literally just pinch and keep pinching at Deadpool until all of his little pieces are in a pile. So,
but Deadpool regenerates himself, doesn't he?
Yeah, it would take a long time for him to regenerate from something like that. So just because he's a speedster, I'd give it to Quicksilver.
Okay. Magneto versus Elektra.
Magneto.
All right. Susan Storm versus Harley Quinn.
Susan Storm. She's the Invisible Woman. She does force fields. She put a force field around her head, and she suffocates and dies.
Silver Surfer versus Poison Ivy.
Oh, it's Surfer all day long.
Poison Ivy's got some jugs.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, there's a reason why comic books have always been a big fan for teenage boys.
Daredevil versus Black Panther.
Ooh, now that is interesting. Probably Black Panther, just because he's probably got tech on him that he knows, and he knows that Matt Murdock is blind. Yeah, and he knows Matt Murdock is blind and how his senses work. So I imagine he's got something on him that would disrupt that.
All right, last one. Ready?
Yeah.
I don't know who this is either. Clint Barton.
Hawkeye
versus Thor.
Thor, all day long.
I mean, Thor, come on.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Daredevil versus Thing. Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, Daredevil could spend all day long hitting Thing. He's not even going to feel it.
Welcome to my world, people. This is like candy for Kevin right here.
Y'all got a little peek. Who in the room has a tattoo? No one in this house.
No one in this house has a tattoo.
Yeah.
I've considered getting a tattoo.
Yeah? Yeah, you did. Yeah. Needles. So no.
Would you rather spend a week in jail or serve 2 years of community service?
Probably I don't know. What's involved with the community service?
Really?
Well, just because, if it's, I don't know.
Cleaning up trash on the highway, you'd rather spend a week in jail?
Nah, I can clean up some trash. It'll be all right.
I mean, what kind of community service would be worse than a week in jail?
I don't know.
Maybe cleaning all the porta potties at Disneyland or something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ha-ha!
Munchkin Man.
Peanut shop. Ha-ha!
Oh, my goodness. All right, you got the last one here.
What celebrity are you embarrassed to find attractive? What celebrity are you embarrassed to find attractive?
Embarrassed to find attractive?
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd be embarrassed to find a celebrity attractive.
I mean, most of them.
We were just talking today about Tom Cruise. Yeah. I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. He does not drive me to a theater. I mean, if you're looking at actors, I think the most, in his heyday, most attractive actor for me is Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Lately, and in some roles, he's looking a little rough around the edges. Older. But, like, A Time to Kill, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Probably Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
Even though he's not your classic, like, hunk.
Yeah.
There's something about the bow-leggedness that I don't know. It's always been interesting to me.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going with the Jokers, I would have to say Q is probably my most attractive Joker to me.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't always like that.
No.
He cut his hair, and that changed everything for me.
When he cut his hair for the wig, yeah.
Because I did not really like the long hair, the slovenly look on him, but the tight.
Because he did look homeless. He let his hair grow out for like 2 years because they were planning this punishment for Murr. Murr's basically bald, and the punishment is that at some point he lost. Q shaved his head. And they took all of Q's hair and made it into a wig for Murr.
He became completely different looking after he shaved his head.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What about you? Who would you be?
I guess I don't know. For a while, I had a thing for Anne Burrell, but that's just because the way she was cooking. I was like, hell yeah, I like that.
Is she the white hair? Like, okay.
It's not really. I don't really. She's not really my type, except for she was cooking some damn good food. And I was like, hell yeah,
that's pretty much your type, isn't it?
Yeah. Beyond that, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of pretty actresses. I don't understand
the embarrassed to find.
Yeah, I don't. You know,
like, what is that supposed to mean?
I guess if you were like into like
someone who's
Rob
chubby
Emmer or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to be embarrassed to be attracted to that person.
Yeah, it's a stupid question.
I don't get that.
But the Tom Cruise thing, that was an interesting conversation. We watched this TikTok of a guy who was imitating different characters running. It was funny. It was great. And apparently it's something that people are doing on TikTok. Like they would run like Jim Carrey,
yeah.
And Tom Cruise from Mission Impossible, which to me, that's not the definitive Tom Cruise run. If you ever watch The Firm, there's a good 20 minutes in that movie where he is just flat out running. It's a great movie. I love that movie, The Firm.
I hate that movie.
You hate that movie.
The thing is, the reason I hate that movie is the soundtrack of that movie.
You don't like it?
It's so distracting and does not match the film to me. It sounds like Charlie Brown piano tinkling music, and it's so distracting to me I can't stand to watch the movie.
Wow. It does it for me. I think it's because it's a Memphis vibe. Yeah.
It's not my thing.
Yeah.
I think that's... Well, no, we talked about this. What really kind of killed my Tom Cruise...
It was Reacher.
Because, like, I like Top Gun, and I like Jerry Maguire, and... You know, I liked him in those roles. My favorite role is Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder.
Oh my God, that's Tom Cruise's best
That's
work.
My favorite Tom Cruise.
If you disagree, leave a thing in the comments and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
If you've never seen Tropic Thunder, just go to the end and watch the Les Grossman thing at the end of that movie.
Oh my God.
So fun. It's a bit part. He's not a main part of that movie, but...
It was his best bit. I think that's Tom Cruise's best bit ever.
How did... Robert Downey Jr. They couldn't make that movie right now.
No,
they could not redo that movie because he was.
There's no way.
He played a black character in that movie.
Oh yeah, he played a dude playing another dude playing another dude. So yeah.
Yeah. Off topic. The movie that killed it for me with Tom Hanks was Reacher.
Tom Cruise.
I always do that.
Yeah.
Because they cast... I am a big fan of the Reacher series of books. The Lee Child books. And the character of Reacher is like 6'5", muscular build, former Army MP. Real, like, in his head, cerebral, like, figuring out how to get out of the shit. And Tom Cruise is not that. And the fact that they cast him in that role, I was like, that is such a miscast. I think that was
more his doing. Like, he wanted those movies made so he could do it.
But, but they weren't, they weren't right. They were really just hoping that people hadn't read the books and were just tuning in. Yeah. If you had never read the books, you probably would have loved it.
Maybe.
But it was not that character.
The first Reacher movie wasn't that great, but that was...
and then they did the Reacher series with another actor who was more of the Reacher physique.
Yeah.
But he played it too... I don't know.
Well, I think in the books, because we did talk about
this. And I've read there's probably been other books of them that I haven't read.
But the books were all from his point of view, so you would hear his inner dialogue.
And you
weren't getting that in the series. Yeah. So
that's probably why.
Yeah. Because you're thinking he's just a kind of adult, but he's not.
I would read through them so fast that they would all start to be the same.
Yeah.
Because he's like a drifter. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have a home. He's not homeless necessarily, but he doesn't have a home. He just goes from place to place, and he always finds himself in the middle of some shit.
Yeah.
And then he has to figure out who done it. And the storylines are similar, but they're all set in different places, and but it's the base of it's always the same, and so.
I enjoyed the series. It was on Amazon Prime.
I never finished watching it.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I just didn't like the way he... And you're right. It's... All that inner dialogue was missing for me. So, anyway, there's that. Not a Tom Cruise fan.
Yeah.
Plus, I think he's maybe a little bit of a jerk in real life.
Probably. The thing I've read that he's a jerk, and then I've read where people whenever they're with him and he's looking them in the eye, he always has a way of making them feel like they are the most important person in the world.
Men who want to manipulate you are really good at that.
Yeah. Well, you said it earlier. He's probably a sociopath, and he probably is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Anyway, so tomorrow's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to everybody out there who is a mom or has a mom or wants to be a mom or is a dog mom.
Is a dog mom,
Happy Mother's Day to everybody. And...
be safe. Enjoy your time with your mom if you can. I will be thinking of my mom. I'm already thinking about my mom, but, if take it from me, go hug your mom. It's because they may not be there. And that's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. But you got me.
I do.
Not a mom, but I'll do.
Yeah. You Tilly's mommy.
Tilly's mommy.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Saturday.
Bye, everybody.